Okay, so I'm gonna talk about the way I travel, all the gear you gotta bring with you. And this new little tool that I've been using, I have started using the hydrogen. And I just want you to know a little bit about why this is actually such a good tool to use as like a B camera for your red footage. Just so you know, this is not a review on the hydrogen. People don't really know a lot about the hydrogen right now, and I can't find many videos that are on it. And the way I've used it with traveling and the ease of mobility and all that stuff has been kind of game changing to the way I can get stuff done. And I can get stuff done just one man. I will tell you the things that are important to me as a filmmaker, and that should be important to somebody who maybe already owns a RED. You know, this is a big camera and we know that it's hard to travel with it. There's times where the big camera just isn't coming with you. You know, you got to do something very quick and nimble and fast. The hydrogen is very light. I had to add some weight here in order to mount the hydrogen to this Ronin S. It needs more weight. So I kind of just jimmy rigged this stuff together, but it's actually really pro and it works really good. The surprising thing about that is you'll see in some of these shots I'm gonna show you that we were in Chile and I had to jump out and get cuties with the RED. And then I had to jump in the back of the van and we got to get tracking shots. Having both setups at the same time, I can just like simply do it. I can have my pro stuff on this and we'd be riding in the car sometimes and I'm just hanging out, shooting out the window, like getting stuff that I probably wouldn't have gotten if I'm just hanging on to the RED the whole time. The RED has a look, obviously. The sensor in the hydrogen has that look too. It's not exactly like the same sensor by any means, but it's very close. When you shoot on it, you're like, oh, that actually looks like RED. It's pretty nice. So you can imagine the footage matches up really well. If you're on like a movie running through, like you gotta have a focus puller, you gotta have like, that's a lot of equipment. And I'm just getting these shots like running through the wilderness and then revealing the car that can be used with the RED footage. It's also got a lot of cool features that help with the creative process like the RED does. Imagine you do a whole shoot on the iPhone. Then you have to get all that footage off your phone or it fills up your phone. The hydrogen has a micro SD card slot built into it. Kind of a big deal for me. You shoot all your client footage to the SD card. You dump all that onto the drive, organize it. It's not on your phone. It's just on the SD card. Then you can delete, erase, wipe the SD card, put a new one back in, and you're kind of using a workflow used in a pro way. You go into the storage and you switch it over to this the little icon of the SD card. Only shooting to the SD card. You're not shooting to your phone. Something that I really like in the RED all the time is time lapse. And having a good simple time lapse camera is pretty amazing. What I was doing when I travel is I have this simple, and this is another little cell phone. You can shoot manual, so I can change my shutter. It's native at like 100 and 1000, but you know, you can really pop the ISO in this. In general, having manual features on a phone, standard, is pretty cool. It's got a 1/4 pin jack, meaning you can plug in a microphone. So the thing I just think is RED didn't want to make an entry-level camera that's $2 grand. They want to keep their cameras 15 and up, and then a phone. And the phone is a different company now, so it's got its own website, it's its own company, it's a phone. That's a huge business. And for my purposes, if I'm traveling, kind of a one-man show, I need to get a lot done, I gotta shoot stuff the way I wanna shoot it, I'm gonna go with this kind of setup now. And especially if you use REDs a lot. Here's the footage I shot in Chile. Some of it's RH1, some of it's Red Dragon, listed at the bottom. Thanks for watching Cameras and Stuff. This is the cameras and the stuff I'm using.